Okay, so welcome. Thank you for joining us for this. And I'm aware that we have a few people live. There's also going to be a lot of people that will receive this after the event. I've already had people saying, I can't join, but I really want to do the replay. So whether you're joining live or with the replay, what I would encourage everyone to do is, make sure ideally that you can do this whole journey with us from start to finish. Then you're going to get the most out of it. So this is especially important for the replayers. Make sure you just go all the way through, and then you're going to get the real magic and the medicine of it. Um, Now, if you're new to my work, let me explain a little bit about who I am and what it is that I do in the world these days. So, I've been teaching for about 16 years now. I started teaching ecstatic dance, trance dance. I then gradually moved from like movement-based practices. I got super into rebirthing breath work. So then I was doing lots of breathing and guiding other people into expanded states through breath. And that then within my own personal life, I felt like I think there's something in the world of Tantra that I meant to go into. And my usual way is I don't just kind of like go in a little bit, I just kind of like dive in at the deep end. That's my usual style. So I went and went and lived in Tantric community, was doing all the trainings that I could possibly find, was making films about Tantra as well, which are going to be coming out either later this year, hopefully, or maybe next year, um, and was going into tantric relationships, and lots of amazing things happened. And then the very unexpected development on my side was around 6 years ago or so. I had my very first download from uh, a voice, so it was kind of funny because I did not realize it was guidance from Isis at that point. I was reading a book called The Magdalene Manuscript. Maybe you've come across it. It's by Tom Kenyon. I feel it's like a seminal text within, spiritual communities the world over these days. If you have not read it, I highly recommend reading it. It's very, very powerful and potent. I read that book, and there was a certain point where I had read the transmission from Mary Magdalene, the channeled words from her. It felt super powerful and potent for me. I was in tears like half the time whilst I was reading it. It seemed like, and I was about to start reading. Within that book, there's a few practices that you can try out. So I was literally about to start these practices, and I heard a voice. And at that time, my understanding was, at times when I heard a voice of the divine, you could call it Great Spirit. At that point, my understanding was like, oh, I'm hearing a voice from some kind of higher guide. And the voice said, put the book down. And it was so clear, and it was also so loving that I was like, okay, I'm going to follow that guidance. I put the book down. The next words were, go sit out on the balcony and look at the ocean. So I followed along. And then the next words that came were, I want to show you the Ankh, and this is a breathwork technique. Like that was how this voice emphasized it. The Ankh is a breathwork technique. Let me show you how it maps onto the body. It was very, very precise. And what then unfolded was a very precise way of mapping the Ankh onto the breath. And if you don't know already, the Ankh maps onto the body. So you can probably see I've got an Ankh in the background here. Let me show you another one that I've got here. So this beautiful symbol, which is a beautiful symbol that represents the feminine. Obviously, the feminine is the loop at the top. The masculine is this upward pointing part. And then the meeting point between the two is this point here. And this is what Isis has come to call the wings of the Ankh, or the wings of the heart. And so when it maps onto the body, the base would be the base of the body. So if you're sitting down, as I am now, then the base would be the base, perineum point, and then from there, this single line would rise up, and it's going to rise up to the level of the heart. So it's at the level of the heart that the ankh then splits in two and goes into two directions. And in fact, you were to bring your hands and trace this pathway with the breath. Let's just try this out. You inhale, you keep inhaling, and you separate the arms out. And then these are the wings of your ankh, the ankh that maps onto your body. And so you can hold the breath for a little moment there if that feels comfortable. And then you exhale, gather the wings back in with the out breath. And then we do a second breath within which we're going to go from the heart and we're going to go up and round to this point. Hang on, let me see if I can show you the point. It's a little bit popping off the edge of the screen. So this is the top of your ankh loop. And this is a point that the Egyptians would refer to as the bar being the soul point. In a lot of spiritual circles these days, we have what they often refer to this as the soul chakra, soul star. There's a few names for it. But in Egyptian, they would have said this is the bar, this is the soul. And then actually the heart is the ab. And so abba would be a way of saying heart, soul. And then ba'ab would be going from the soul back to the heart. And this was very, very key for the Egyptians. So they were looking a lot at how do we cultivate connection between the body and the heart. The heart is a very crucial point. And also, how do we cultivate this connection to the soul, this point that is actually above the physical head, but it's in the energy field, what the Egyptians would call the Ka, K-A. Ka is the energy field which surrounds the body. The Ka is also, within Egypt, they would talk about the Ka as the energy body double. And so sometimes if you think of, there's a moment in the movie Doctor Strange, if you've seen that movie, there's a moment where the kind of like the guru character played by Tilda Swinton, she taps the main character on the chest, and suddenly you see this kind of like see-through version of him that pops out of the body. You know, Doctor Strange's character. So he pops out of the body and you kind of see him and he looks the same as himself, but he's kind of see-through. Now, this would be one way of visualizing the Ka. It's the energy body double. And the Egyptians were fascinated by the energy body double because they recognized that if you work for long enough with the connection to the Ka, then at the point of the body dropping, you can just switch into the Ka energy body and you actually take your consciousness with you and you have this potential to go into the afterlife whilst still bringing all of your memories with you. So this was very, very key for them within the Egyptian cosmological world. So, why is that relevant? You might be wondering. Well, these practices, so within the world of exploring the Ankh, there are ways to cultivate connection to the energy body, which in general just feels really nice. The more you sensitize to your energy body, the more energy you feel in yourself and the world around you. If you are in partnership, there are also ways in which you can bring the knowledge of the Ka and also the knowledge of the Ankh into the bedroom. And then in the midst of lovemaking, for example, you could then raise the sexual energy to the heart and expand it outwards. And then the energy that can otherwise feel like it's getting stuck in the sex center, it then comes up and it expands through the heart. So then you feel super loved up and super connected to the person that you're with. When you're then also circulating the energy through the Ankh loop. So there's ways in which it can loop around this way. There's ways in which it can also loop out the back of the heart, through the soul point and back into the heart. When you're in partnership, and once you've learned this, so you kind of need to learn how to do this first. Once you've learned how to do it, then you could come together with a partner and you could do the loop that is sending throughout the back of both of your hearts, through the soul points, both yours and your partner's, into the back of their heart, and then they're then receiving it through the back and they're passing it back to you. It's super, super beautiful. It's a very profound practice to explore with other people. However, before we try that, we need to kind of experience it and know it and understand it within our own body. So that's a little sort of some of the good reasons for diving deeper into this subject. You can work on many, many levels. In my own personal life, I have now been working with the Ankh for the last 6 or 7 years, and it is still one of my main practices. So in some ways, I am, a teacher that's been offering this in many different ways in recent years into the world. And the Ankh is both, in some ways, it's almost like it's a beginner practice, and in other ways, it is also a very, very advanced practice, and one that you would be working with as an Egyptian initiate for years and years and years. In fact, it might even take you all the way right through to the point of death, at which you're then consciously, sort of like looping out of the body. You're just then moving into the bar, and then the bar would then be merging with that part of you that is the undying. And so a lot of this practice, in some ways, you can see it as a tantric practice that is going to, support your daily life. And it is also preparing one for that magical moment where we drop the body and the consciousness can journey onwards from there. Now, what we're going to explore today is we're going to go on a little journey, and we're going to work with the Ankh and also activating the Ankhs in the palms of the hands. So if you imagine you've got this big Ankh that maps around the body like so, you also have these Ankhs that you can activate in the palms of the hands, and which you can then utilize to pour healing towards anything. And the nice thing is, because you have both the loop, the feminine, and the upward point, which is the masculine, and the balance point between these two, it's a very, very balancing current of energy to work with. And so we're going to breathe our way through the Ankh, get used to the breathwork techniques. We're then going to allow the hands, the palms, to rest on the knees, and we're going to let them charge up with more and more energy, more and more light that we'll be using and activating through the breath. And then there'll be a certain point where I will guide you to start bringing the hands to the body. And obviously, if you've done the trainings with me already in relation to the Ankh Healing, the deep dive training, you'll know about this already. If not, you're going to get your first taste of some of the things we explore in the deeper dive 2 weekends of training. It's kind of like a Reiki initiation, and yet it's within the Egyptian lineage stream. So it has its own unique flavor and its own unique power. And that's not to say it's any better than Reiki, but it is has a flavor that is just as potent as Reiki. For me personally, I prefer it to Reiki because I feel like it connects back into the lineage that I'm most connected to these days. So we can play with that. You can explore that in and through this practice today. So we'll spend some time doing either hands-on healing. It could be literally that you have your hands on your body for a period of this session today. Or if you're sensitive to energy, you might also feel that you just want to work with the energy field that's around the body. So obviously, if you're energetically sensitive, you're going to get that, the fact that there is a space where you're not even touching the hand, but if you can feel that, the energy current movement of just being a little, distance away from the body, then by all means do that. If you're newer to energy practices, then I would recommend to try more of just the direct physical hands-on healing, because it's kind of an easier way in. So there's a few ways to play with that depending on what feels right for you. There'll be a certain point where we'll focus on self-healing. At a certain point, I will invite you to also connect in to other people that are in your life. That could be people from the physical community that you're in. It could also be even further afield than that. Obviously, I have loved ones way back in England. So when I think of my loved ones, I immediately go to certain people in England, as well as people that I love here in Bali, which is where I'm usually living. So we'll start connecting with our community, wherever they might be in the world. Initially, more your close community, the ones that you know. And then at a certain point, we're going to go even further out than that to then start sending some healing out. And it could be that we're sending healing out to, all of Asia, all of America, all of Europe, wherever you might be, whatever the continent is that you're on, we might beam out some energy to the whole continent. And then at a certain point, I'll guide us to go even further than that, to just sending energy out to the whole planet. And within that, we might feel that there's specific places that want some support. So we send some energy there. That's totally, totally welcome. So we're gonna, I'll guide you through this step by step. So all you need to do is just kind of follow along. And if there are any points, for example, where when we start inviting more people in, if you still feel that you need a bit more time just working on your own self-healing, then you can also just still stay focused on pouring healing into yourself. If you feel you can do that whilst there's some awareness towards the loved ones in your life, then by all means do that. But what I have had at points is people come to the training, and at the level 2, where we're focused more on offering to other people, sometimes some people will come and say, actually, right now, I just need the healing, so I'm just going to receive it myself. So if that's you, if that's how you're feeling right now, you may even do the whole journey today where you're focused more on self-healing and less focused on sending it out. So again, this is up to you how you choose to flow with that. And for others, especially if you're a healer, you might also find that you can be, almost like beaming out healing energy to others, and you can be feeling the energy pouring through you. And as it's pouring through you, it can also feel that it is purifying and healing you, whilst at the same time you're being a conduit for energy for other people. So see how it feels and just trust your own inner guidance in relation to that. Does that all sound clear? And I'm wondering, does anyone have any questions in relation to that? I'm going to have a little sip of water just to give you a moment to think about that. Okay, someone is saying that's clear. Great. Okay, I'm assuming it's clear for everyone. Great. So, in a moment, I'm going to do an opening invocation chant. This is going to be a chant to Isis, and you are welcome to join in with me. And in fact, I am going to be joined vocally by Brother Theo, who is a dear brother who's dialing in from Colombia today. So you will hear my voice. You may also hear his voice joining in as well. and you are welcome and invited to join in also. Um, Join along with us. We're going to be calling Auset. Auset is one of the original names for Isis, goddess Isis, who because her image is very, infamous. This is Isis, goddess of healing and goddess of benevolent magic. This is magic that is in service, in benevolent service to the world and to humankind. So that is her medicine. I mean, she's a master teacher in many, many ways, but in a way that's very often how she's described, is as the one that works with healing and support of humankind for their evolution and growth. So she's a very powerful lady, goddess to connect into. So we're going to use the words Nehez, Auset, which Nehez means awake. Auset is one of her original names. So we're saying awake Isis, awaken Isis, awaken divine feminine. That could be something that you're seeing as a divine feminine energy that is external to you. And yet, again and again, whenever I'm working with Isis, she is always reminding me this is in you, this is in all of you, this is in all of us. So we don't need to see it as external. We can also awaken our own divine inner feminine, who can then also support a deepening into this healing space. So we'll chant to Isis, and most likely, usually when Isis comes, kind of the whole team comes with her. So as in Auset, Isis may call her beloved Osiris, known as Ausar. Hathor may come. Hathor is originally known as Heteru, and Heteru is a goddess of sound and fertility, and her beloved is Heru, known most commonly to most of us as Horus. So a lot of the names we know are the Greek names: Horus, Isis, Osiris, Hathor. All those names are the Greek names. And so this is why I'm saying two sets of names, because there's the names that most of us have probably heard, and it's really nice to work with the original names that they would have used way back when in Egypt, before the Greeks came along and had they a little bit changed some of the names along the way. So we're going to work with that original sound code, and that will invite the whole team in. And within that, you are also most welcome to invite in any beings that you work with. If you have higher guides, invite them in. If you have beings from other lineages, they are welcome here too. And so, yeah, whoever you most resonate with. So I work a lot with Mary Magdalene and Yeshua, and some may not know this, but it is said that they spent a lot of time in Egypt studying with the masters in Egypt and learning from them. And so, so I believe that they are custodians of some of these great teachings as well, which is also why it is very connected to Egypt, even though, of course, since that time, we've had a lot of the teachings got distorted, diminished, edited, changed. Mary Magdalene got removed from from being seen as a teacher and got relegated to being a prostitute. This was a misreading of the Christian texts, and even the Catholic Church has started to admit this since 1969. They, prior to that, had seen her as the sinful woman, i.e., the prostitute. From 69 onwards, they took that label out of the calendar. And so since that time, there's been a kind of a gradual admission on some level that she was not the sinful woman, and that they misread their own texts. So we can actually come back to, the original stream of all the teachings. We can connect in to the original teachings of Jesus, Yeshua, known as Yeshua in his original Aramaic language, Mary Magdalene, Miriam Magdalita in, again, original Aramaic. And of course, we can connect back into the original teachings of Egypt as well. So I feel it's very relevant to the times that we're living in, because the feminine wants to be re-included in the spiritual path. And that includes all of us embracing the feminine in our own spiritual lives, and of course, that could be in relationship, but it could also be, even if we're a single man, let us say, we can still be finding ways to bring in the divine feminine into our life. And obviously, that is creating a beautiful new balance. So the Ankh is all about, let us find the perfect balance between the feminine above, the masculine that uprises from below, and the meeting point between the two, in and through the heart. This is what it is all about. And I feel, in a way, this is what so much of all spiritual traditions are speaking of. So let us go on a little journey. And within that, we will have a chance to dive into the healing field, work with Isis and the team. And in some ways, all you need to do is just follow along and breathe. And I will guide you step by step through the whole process. So, yeah, let's do a little invocation. So I have a little shruti box here, which you might be able to see, a little instrument. Theo, can you unmute your mic or?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So welcoming Theo to the space. Thank you for joining the invocation. And so let us just take a moment just to breathe into the heart. To connect into the divine feminine in any way, in all the ways. And let us work with this sound code. It's almost like a dialing code to Isis Auset. So we'll work with Nehez Auset. Let's just go into an ah sound that is vibrating through the heart. So maybe place a hand on the heart. Just see if you can find the note that vibrates the heart the most. You're just breathing and letting the breath open in and through the heart. When you breathe in, just notice how that breath can feel as if it starts down in the belly, and it can feel as though it rises up to the heart where it expands outwards. And then when you exhale, exhaling as if you're coalescing, gathering the energy into the heart. It can then feel as though it then drops back down through the body. And let us take a moment just to breathe through this, the T shape, known as the tau. You might want to bring your arms out to the sides. On the exhale, bringing the hands back to the heart, and back to the root. And dropping them down to touch the space in front of the sex center. Let us do that a few more times just so we feel this path of the tau. Holding the breath, the fullness of the inhale for a moment, feeling the expansiveness. Exhale, gathering into the heart, pouring from the heart back to the base, to the root, to the body. Inhale, raising from the root to the heart. Open your arms. Holding the breath for a little moment, feeling the fullness of the plane of the heart, the width of the heart. Whenever you feel to or need to, exhaling, gathering back into the heart. Back to the root. Let's take a little breath for a moment. And in the next round, we're going to raise to the heart, but we're going to then move straight through the loop instead of going out through the wings. So again, on the inhale, raising from the root to the heart, and still inhaling, raising from the heart through to the bar, this point above the crown. One palm resting on the other, both of them pointed down. So it's like a closed loop, and yet it's connected to the soul. Feeling this connection between the heart and the soul, the ab and the ba. Whenever you need to, exhale from the ba to the heart to the root. So let us put this together. So the next time, let us raise, and we'll go through the T first. With the first breath, we'll exhale, and then on the second breath, we'll move through the loop. So on your next in-breath, inhale to the heart, open your wings. Hold the breath for a little moment. Whenever you need to exhale, exhale, gather into the heart, back to the root. On the next in-breath, root to the heart, to the soul, through the loop. Again, hold the breath, feeling the connection between the body, the heart, and the soul. This beautiful alignment between these. Whenever you need to, exhale from the soul to the heart, heart to the root, base of the body. And the next inhale, raising to the heart, open the wings. Exhale into the heart, back to the root. On your next inhale, raising straight up to the heart, and from the heart straight up to the soul, through the loop. Hold the breath, aligning into your soul mission, to what you are here to do in this life. Whenever you need to, exhale from the soul to the heart, and back to the root. Just take a little breath, like just breathe normally for a moment. Just notice anything alive in the body, any heat, any sensation anywhere. If there is any emotion, then just noticing it, just welcoming it as part of this experience. All of you is welcome. And let us now gently bring the hands to rest on the knees, with the palms open, facing up. And now we'll breathe through the whole ankh, so as if we're going to fill the whole symbol from the very bottom all the way to the very top, but we're as if it's water. It's going to fill up and it's going to reach the cross, the T point. It's going to fill outwards to the sides, and then it's going to keep filling up through the loop to the very top through one single breath. So we don't need a movement anymore. Let us just fill from the root of the body to the heart and then to the soul on one in breath. And we'll hold at the top again. Body, heart, soul, all aligned to all that you believe in. And whenever you need to, exhaling from the soul to the heart, back to the root of the body. Let's do that a few times. As we're doing this a few times, we are charging the whole car, the energy body, including the palms of the hands. So just noticing the palms as included in this breath. Breathing in, let us breathe in golden light, as if we're breathing in sunlight on each in-breath. And the sunlight fills the body, fills the energy body, surrounds the whole body as well, energizes the palms, the hands with golden light. Whenever you need to exhale, just exhale. And just trust your breath, as in, if you need to breathe faster, do so. If you wish to extend the breath holds, you can do so. Whatever feels right, but we're just breathing, filling the Ankh to its fullness. And on each out breath, we're pouring this golden light through the body, and most especially, we're pouring golden light into the hands. So let us intentionally breathe, charge up, and then exhale, and then pour all of that charged energy into the hands. These are our healing hands. They are the extension of the heart, extension of our love. So as you're hearing the breath, you may wish to follow that breath, but you may wish to do your own unique breath. And if you do want to do your own unique breath, then trust the wisdom of your body to show that to you. And trusting the inspiration that is in each of your breaths, even if they're different, even if they're changing from one moment to another. Can you trust the spirit of the breath to open in and through the body, to open in and through the heart, to connect you in and through the heart and the soul, to align you to the path that connects you into all that you believe in. And as you connect in, if that means that the body is starting to move or shake or do little things, twitches, twitching of the fingers, the hands, the spine, just noticing any aliveness. And just keep breathing and giving the breath over to that aliveness. If the spine wishes to move, then just give permission to the spine to align, in any way that might be right for your unique spine. Let us allow the palms of the hands now to rise up, and for a moment let us hold them up, and if it feels right they will be anointed, blessed by the divine, by any one that you believe in, any guide, any god, any goddess, any great teacher. They can anoint, bless, open these healing hands. So as you breathe now, breathe and receive that anointing, remembrance. And these healing hands, these are healing hands. They always have been. And so let us orient these healing hands and feeling into and directing them towards the body, and just taking a moment to feel the energy field that surrounds the body. You might want to bring the hands as if they're scanning the space around the body, feeling in to, is there anywhere in this body that most wants some healing light, some support? And wherever that might be, can we then bring the hands either in the energy field, or we just rest the hands directly on the body, wherever it feels they are most needed in this moment. Placing the hands there or resting them still in the energy field, let us breathe and receive healing. We don't need to do anything, we can just receive. And it is safe to receive, you're safe to feel, you're safe to heal anything that might be alive in this moment. And perhaps it feels like something is coming out from a certain part of the body that you might be focused towards. If anything is coming out, let us visualize a fire just in front of us, and we pour that which is being released into the fire. Fire of transformation, fire of transmutation, sacred fire, the hearth fire, the heart fire. And take a new breath. In this new moment, feel, are these hands meant to be here? Are they meant to move, perhaps to somewhere else? And if so, can you follow the inner teacher? Or can you listen for your guidance, your guides? Perhaps the next touch is a bit more physical. Perhaps it's more strong, or perhaps it's more strong but just in the energy field. Whatever feels right. Breathing, receiving, breathing, and releasing. Using the out breath especially to release. And taking a new breath in, breathing through the Ankh. And breathing out, releasing anything that is not of that golden light. Anything old, anything stagnant, anywhere in the body. Offering it into the fire in front of you. Relaxing the jaw. The jaw is tight in any way. Loosen the jaw. Loosen the pelvis. Relax the spine. Allow it to undulate with the breath. Breathing in, filling, charging with golden light. Letting the golden light permeate to any part of the body that might need it. And then on the exhale, releasing into the sacred fire, anything. Whether you know what it is connected to or not. And taking a new breath in. So there is the golden light. The golden light is very connected to Ra, the sun, the solar rays. Ra and Re are the names of one of the many Egyptian gods. And there is also another current. This is the current of the moon. So for a moment, visualize yourself looking up at the moonlight and receiving the moonlight in the night's sky, which has a very different energy to the sun. So let us now breathe and start receiving some of this feminine, more lunar energy in and through the breath. Feeling again into where might the hands wish to gravitate towards, either on the body or in the energy field around the body. Wherever they gravitate to, letting the awareness focus in there. And let us take some breaths with the focus to this point or these points. Might be one hand in one area, another hand elsewhere. Let us bring the breath, the ruach, as Yeshua would have said. The ruach is the breath. It is also the spirit. So we breathe in the spirit, inspire, in spirit, in spiritus. Letting the breath align, letting the breath clear, release, unmoor anything that's been kind of clung onto that's not truly serving. So if you feel any clinging to old beliefs, old habits, old ways that you know are not serving, can you breathe in and find the part that is clinging on? Perhaps that part is afraid of something. So can we breathe in and just meet the part that is holding on? Perhaps it even feels as if it is holding on for dear life. And then you are invited to feel, is it truly life or death, or does it just seem like that to that part? And is there some part that part can release into the fire? So it's reminded you're safe. It's okay. You're safe. I've got you. I'm here to support you. You are loved. No part of you that is afraid or clinging on. You are loved. I love you. I'm here for you. Breathing through the heart, breathing through the soul. Releasing on the exhale. Offering back to the fire or offering back to the earth anything that is ready for release, ready for composting, ready for burning up. And if the body needs to move a little more to support the breath or to support the release, then allow that movement. Whatever the movement is, trust the body's wisdom. And give it more breath, whatever it might be. Can you give it more breath? And if you are afraid and concerned and unsure if you have the strength, can you lean into the support of the divine? Auset, Ausa, Isis, Osiris, Yeshua, Magdalena, divine feminine, divine masculine in any form. Knowing you don't need to hold all of this yourself. It's safe for them to hold some of it. It may even be safe to let them hold all of it. Might be safe to let them hold all of you in this moment through the breath. Can you open through the breath as the beloved? And as you breathe and become that beloved, then what is this beloved here? to share with your own self. What can the beloved share with its own beloved self? So this is the ka, blessing the body, the energy body, blessing your own self, helping to heal, helping to realign. And give it breath. Releasing through the out breath. And as you're breathing with your own self, feel into your closest loved ones. Could be a beloved, it could be dear friends, it could be close family. And can you be the beloved's heart as you include them in your circle, in the circle, in this healing circle that we're in this moment. As we breathe, can we breathe to heal not only us, but anyone that is in our circle? And if they were but an outpicturing of us, can we send love to all of them as another I, as another me, as another aspect of the one love we are all looking to be. And if you find that your hands are wanting to orient as if they were in a circle with us, as if we could send love through the hands or through the heart to them, to these beloveds, then just breathe and be with this beloved breath, a breath of my love, a breath of your love. In Egypt, they would say, Tu a tu, I adore you. So as you're breathing now, can you breathe in as if you're breathing in, I adore you, to your own self? And as you breathe out, can you send that out on the out breath, that silently spoken knowing, I adore you, that you being anyone, everyone. And whilst it may feel that you are giving out love to others, in the next in-breath, can you also receive their love back in? Even if it may not come in the way that you would like it. Maybe it comes a little bit hidden. Maybe it comes at times like a little bit veiled. And can you breathe and receive their love and see through the veil to the truth of the love that is being shared, shown, revealed to you? As you're breathing, knowing it's okay. It's okay to let this love in. When you breathe back to them, you are breathing also with that unspoken statement to A'atu, I adore you. It's okay to let that love in. Breathe in wide open as love. As you're breathing now, let's reorient back to the Ankh. It could be gold, it could be silver, it could be the most beautiful blend of these two. Or perhaps the gold and the silver become white light. So as we breathe now, let us breathe and allow the Ankh to expand as if it could grow bigger than the body, as if it could grow bigger outwards to the sides, as if the wings could extend farther on this horizontal plane, as if they could go out through your house, through the walls, into the gardens or into the neighboring buildings around you. And as that is expanding out in that direction, we sink the root of the Ankh down through the floor beneath us, down through any floors beneath us, down through the foundations of the building, deep down into the earth, letting it anchor. Let us each become anchor points for even more love to open and expand, letting the loop rise up, letting it rise up through the roof, letting it rise up towards the heavens. And as it rises up, it becomes even more filled with light. So let us breathe now into this expansive field, the field of this Ankh, blessing the area we live in, blessing the village, the town, the city we find ourselves in. And feeling your own heart in the center of that which is beaming out light, love. And as we keep breathing, we keep letting the ankh grow even bigger still, so that it begins to expand even further, wider, and deeper down into the earth, higher up towards the heavens, as if the Ankh could become like an acupuncture point for this earth, piercing it with love, breathing and opening as love. And if the doors of the temple of the heart have been closed, then can you break open these doors in order to let more love in? Beyond hiding, beyond armor, untethered, broken open. And as you breathe with a heart as open as possible, can you feel this earth, not only your love for this earth, but also anywhere where there is anyone that may be feeling any pain? And can we hold our hearts open and meet them and breathe as love with them? And if it feels too much for the human heart, then can you connect to Divine Mother or Divine Father and to their hearts to help you, to support you? And out. Can you breathe it through? Allow it through the body and outwards into the earth. the earth of your land that you are sitting upon, and knowing it in turn connects in to a field of many, many tens, hundreds of thousands of temples that make up an earth temple, that each one is another acupuncture point upon the earth, blessing the earth. And as we breathe now, let us connect into all the sacred sites, all the temples, all the sacred spaces. Let us offer our love's prayer in and through all of them, knowing so many were ancient mountains, ancient places, long before any church claimed them as their own. So as we breathe, let us connect into thousands of years of prayers throughout these lands, throughout this earth. May this prayer realign these temples, all the temples, to the great divine, to the one source. And as we breathe with these blessings, can you receive back some of the blessings of these great holy temples? The pyramids, Machu Picchu, the water temples of Bali, the churches through Europe, Americas. All the temples of all the lands, can you receive the blessing of the prayers, and the blessing of the love in and through your own body, and letting anything that may not be in highest alignment be received, met with great love, and blessed and transformed back into holy alignment. Though some may have lost the way, may have lost themselves into dogma, may we realign the prayers back in and through the heart, in and through the heart, bringing back in the feminine, bringing back in the feminine, allowing the feminine realignment in and through this prayer, in and through all the temples, all the buildings, all the sacred sites. And let us zoom out a final time as if we could zoom out to see the whole earth, this great mother, and let us send this love as light through the breath, sending love to her, Mother Earth, Gaia. As you're breathing and sending love silently, the words, the prayer, to tu, I adore you, I adore you, I adore you, I love you, please forgive me, please forgive me on behalf of all the other humans. I'm sorry. I bow to you. I thank you. I bless you. Just breathing with that fire pouring forth golden light, healing to all those in war-torn places, to all those in hell, like living, experiencing hell in any way, whether that is in a war zone or whether that is in the war inside of their own self. Can we love them too? Can we love them too? Can we send forth this healing to them? And in this new breath, can we breathe and can we receive the love of the earth, Mother Gaia, or as the Egyptians would call the land, Father Gab, Mother Gaia, the beloveds of the earth, the physical earth. So as you breathe now, can you receive the love of them, Mother Earth, Father Earth, ever loving, forever loving you. She and he who will love you to the end of time. Can you receive the ever-giving love, overflowing love in to you? As it flows into you, can you keep allowing the cup that is in the heart? It's like a holy grail. Can you allow the cup to slowly fill with love, breath by breath, until it reaches overflow? And perhaps it may take many breaths to fill the cup, and that's okay. And perhaps it already feels that the cup is coming to overflow, in which case can you allow that too? Can you allow the overflow in its own time? And if the love overflows, can you just allow it to overflow and cascade through the body and pour down through the Ankh into the earth, or to rise up and fountain out through the rest of the Ankh? If it feels helpful, then you may wish to find the sound. So, as we did at the very start, finding the sound that vibrates the heart. You might feel like the sound itself can be the sound that opens the heart and brings it to overflow. So, finding the ah sound that vibrates your own heart, placing a hand on the chest. And if there's another sound that wants to come through your body, trust that sound. Since we're sending this out, if it feels like we're now sending out, let us find the note that feels like it sends it out through this great golden Ankh, or through this Ankh made of light. Let us beam, do a final beam towards the earth, towards humankind. Ah. Oh. Oh. Placing hands anywhere in the body. If your own body was the earth, what is the sound that you need to sound in this moment to feel more love? You're sounding, still sounding to completion. If you're breathing, just breathing a little bit more deeper, a little bit more wider, a little bit more higher, all the directions. As you're breathing now, just gently draw back in this great, great loop, this loop of light. And as it comes in from the great heavens above us, bringing with it the blessings of the Mother, the Cosmic Mother, the Cosmic Mother that has forever been there, though she at times was removed by some, she is always there forever. So we draw in the loop and we draw in the blessings of the Cosmic Mother in and through, passing through the clouds, passing through the sky, passing through the roof of the building we're in, passing through the floor, the roof directly above, or the floor. And drawing the loop in so it surrounds the upper part of the body. It comes back to nestle in. So the top of the loop is at the level of the soul. So the bottom of the loop is at the level of the heart. Let us draw back in the wings of the Ankh. And as we gather them in from this horizontal earth plane, we draw in more love, our love, the big love, the love that is in and through everyone and everything, gathering that in towards our own heart. If it feels right, you may wish to rest the hands upon the heart, feeling now the connection between the heart and the root of the body, and the root and the deep, deep tap root that is deep in the earth. This Ankh is your pillar, it's your grounding cord into the earth. If it feels right, we can send it down a little deeper. We can invite it to, like a tree, to grow roots outwards, downwards, into the surrounding earth. And when we next breathe in, we breathe in the love of the mother, the support of the mother to ground us, support us. As if we're drawing in the waters that the tree, this tree, your great tree, needs to be nourished. Breathing in those sacred waters from deep in the earth. Feeling holding the support of the mother, holding all these roots as if she holds a lover with such love, such tenderness, saying to you, I adore you, I adore you, I thank you for connecting with me, for this is so precious and so many have forgotten. So thank you for remembering. And please receive my blessing as you breathe in. Receive my blessing as your earth, as one always here for you. I love you. I forgive you. I bow to you. Let those words be drawn up through these roots and into the central pillar of the Ankh, feeling this grounding, loving blessing of this great mother. And slowly, slowly let us draw in the roots that are deep in the earth. Let us draw them slowly in towards the central pillar of the Ankh, deep in the earth. And let us slowly draw the base of the Ankh upwards through the rock, through the soil, through sand, sediment, and letting it rise through the foundations of the building that you're in, and letting the Ankh rise through the floor just beneath you, through that which you're sitting on, letting it come back fully into the body, awareness coming back into the breath. And in your own time, have a little stretch of the body. Stretch the arms, wiggle some fingers or toes. Stretch the legs out. They've been sat in one position for a while. Open your eyes in your own time back into your space. Maybe have a sip of water or whatever you have as a liquid near to hand. So welcome back. Maybe you're still landing from that. So if you're still landing, then just take your time. There's no rush. And I just wanted to open the space. So if anyone did want to share anything, you are most welcome to. If you don't want to speak, you could type a little thing into the chat. There's a little chat button in the bottom right. If you still feel like you're landing, then don't worry about sharing in this moment.
Can I share something?
Alison? Yes, sure.
That was absolutely beautiful. I thank you so much.
Sure.
And it feels very auspicious that it's today. And then I saw this yesterday, like 2 days ago. And when I saw your email, and I was like, okay, well, starting my spiritual journey, I connect very much to the Egyptian pantheon and so on.
Yeah.
And just recently, within 6 months, I haven't been doing any Ankh breaths anymore in my mornings,
Okay.
which I didn't think about because I picked up more of a Taoist practice, a balancing in a different way. And
Yeah.
what was absolutely amazing right now is doing this new part of the practice, just pulling it in, without moving my arms and all of that, and really feeling my upper, like say the soul or in the loop.
Yeah.
And then with the breathing, the Taoist aspects that I do in the morning kind of just combine together. So I
Yeah.
had a very
Yay.
strong experience, and especially sending like love and to family and to the world. It was very so wow.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
feeling
And
very connected and yeah, beautiful.
yeah, that's great. And yeah, it's beautiful to hear that you've been deep diving into the Taoist teachings, which have also inspired me a lot over the years. And obviously, any energy cultivation practice, in a way, regardless of what lineage it might be from, is preparing, all of it is preparing the energy body.
Yes,
And so it does then mean that when you go back into a practice like the Ankh, you're very naturally going to feel it even more potently because you have been, practicing so diligently over the months. So yeah, it's beautiful. And I feel that they all kind of fit together, like they're all supportive of one another. And in that sense, there's like many, many different tools and techniques and practices from all these different lineages. And yet, on another level, they're all fundamentally, I think, in many, many ways, looking to support us to connect more to the body, the energy body, the earth, and the heavens, or the sky. So, yeah, it's beautiful. I'm glad you felt so much.
thank you so much.
Yay. Thank you for joining us again. Lovely to see you back after a while away. So welcome. Yeah, great. Thank you, Alison. Anybody else want to share anything? Maybe everyone else is landing still. So just to let everyone know, so we're nearly at time. So let me just do a little wrap up. And so firstly, I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us. I hope you received a lot from that. That was the second one that we did. We did one this morning, this morning my time, last night America time. And I have to say this one was the powerful one. I mean, earlier was strong, but then there's usually one that's like, oh wow, that was quite a bit more powerful, and this was the one that was quite a bit more powerful. So I'm very glad you could all join for it. And obviously, I'm going to send this video out as a replay. So if at any point you ever wanted to do this practice again, you would be most welcome to rewatch it. And for anyone that wants to go deeper, we have a Ankh Healing 2 weekends worth of training. It's similar to Reiki in some ways, and yet in other ways it's very different. But it's similar in the sense that it's 2 weekends of training. The first weekend is about self-healing. The second weekend is about how do I offer Ankh healing to other people. That could be friends, it could be family, it could even be clients that might come to see you. And so we go into a big initiation in which we're activating the Ankh in the palms of the hands very potently. We're working even more with the whole team, Isis, Osiris, and all the others. And there's a big initiation that happens over those 2 weekends that then prepares you in a beautiful way to go deeper into your self-healing or supporting and healing others. So I'm going to be blasting out about that in the coming weeks because we're starting the next training for that in mid-March. So you're most welcome to join if you wish to. And then the other big training, don't work with an actual Ankh. Do you mean physically we don't work with an actual Ankh? Is that what you're asking? There was a little question there. If you mean MVO, if you mean do we work with an actual Ankh? So physically, when we do the 2 weekends, we get everyone to get a physical Ankh that ideally is roughly the size of the hands. And we actually then use that as part of the initiation process. So there is a way in which we work with it. And I believe that once upon a time, the Egyptians once used it like a magic wand. You often see them holding it in the hieroglyphs like that. So I imagine that there actually is a way that you can work with it physically. I've just recently got a copper Ankh. This is like brand new, just bought it the other day. So it's something that I'm going to start testing out a little bit more. So yes, there are ways you could start working with the physical Ankh, and we can explore that during the training. And there's other ways in which you are the Ankh. You know, your energy body can activate the Ankh, your breath can activate the Ankh. You can work with the Ankh as a chant sound code. It's very, very powerful. You can open the Ankh in the palms of the hands, and then you just become a conduit for the Ankh, whether you have a physical one or not. That's my experience of it so far. So yeah, so that's our deep diver, is that 2 weekend thing. The other big training that we've got coming up in May is a 9-month, very deep dive into all of the Egyptian tantric secrets. So in a way, the Ankh healing is like one area, like almost like one stream of the teachings within Egyptian tantric secrets is the Ankh, working with the Ankh as energy practice and also as energy healing, but it fits into a wider system of Egyptian Tantra, within which there is even more teachings, some of which are for personal practice, some of which are things that can be shared with a beloved, with a partner. And so for anyone that wants to do the deep dive, then feel free to message me about that if you want more info, or check out the website. Okay, and if not, then you're always welcome to message me afterwards. You should have emails from me, or go to Mystica School. Type that out in the chat. Mystica is with a K-A, mystic, but then the Ka is the energy body. So that was an intentional misspell, because we wanted to get the energy body reference in there. So it is an energy school that is all about the mystic teachings, most especially of Egypt, and also connected to Rose lineage, Yeshua, Magdalene, and their whole lineage path. So that is what I work with. That's what my life is dedicated to. So if ever you want to come work with me further, just reach out. I'm always happy to chat about this. It's my absolute passion and joy to share about it. So thank you, everyone, so much for joining. Special thank you to Theo for offering beautiful chant with me near to the start. Thank you, brother. Really appreciated hearing you in sound field there. And yes, wishing you all a beautiful either day or night. It's now nighttime this side. So wishing you a beautiful day or night. And yeah, feel free to reach out if ever you want to chat more about Egyptian Tantra, Ankh healing, or any other things like that. Okay, wishing you a beautiful, beautiful day or night. See you later.